And then when they turn, that's when you just walk. Exactly. So he said, and then standing here, together. They'll be one.
Alright, take the one that doesn't say that.
The one that just says
Yeah.
You'll be perfect. Yeah, so specifically for sales, I know seriously. I know seriously. I know, right? There you go. I Morning, sir.
You doing?
Yes, sir, I am. I got the promotion this morning.
CTO is making me proud. You go. Sounds like a fail. Can't build on you guys and you have to cover down. Got it. That's all I heard. Got this thing. I don't feel well. Yeah, mine is a big brother in the middle of the room. Everyone sit over here in this corner and they see everything. We got you 17 Delta from we got you 17 Delta from Major Spencer. Spencer Johnson. Major Spencer. Look at that. Up 25%.
Sounds great.
We'll be back down. Yeah, we were overmanned. Yeah, he said he took it off. I see that. I wasn't gonna say nothing. I was like, I know the dude. I was like, I was gonna give you my copy, but I already took a sip. So that's what I'm talking about. You always looking out for your dad. I'll buy you a copy. Oh no, I remember those days. Man, I tell you, those days that I just forgot what the hell happened. The days gone by. Oh, it's just a mic though, they can't see it. Oh good, I can say whatever I want. People don't know.
Okay. I'm trying to figure that out.
Because I don't want to throw you off. Like, you're looking down and I don't want to throw you off. Pushing me like you're looking at me. This place like those two guys.
Right.
And really, the only people that need to hear are them and them. But then everyone else is that might say it's really good. Yeah. Everyone else is extra in this place. Stand in a brief them, pump it, whatever it is. become an aide or an exec. I was an exec. I interviewed twice. The first time, the project manager, interviewed me and the exec. So we had so you're telling me when that happens, when you do what you do, and the last time, you know, we can do this stuff. I know it's going to be this. I said, exactly. We know. So the second one, I just get out of there. Colonel Martin, he's a commissioner. He used to work on this one. We connected on he was a great one. He was phenomenal. He was the first one. And the commander should be rightfully so. Rightfully so. Each and every one of them. Yeah. I was there for 2 of them. Yeah. It was a sad thing for the third one. The third one, he knew he was going to someone still playing together. And then when Rocky came out, he killed Rocky. Yeah, and he was because of the situation. So he said, I said, I just I was, I tell you, things that get to see. No. Oh, you see the party walk out. The rest of
Sounds good. Whatever you need. Actually, I have sometimes some people that really want to they cry.
You can probably go ahead and do the personal one.
Well,
Do you want to wait till he gets here, or?
I was trying to try to keep my eyes peeled for the keynotes.
Yeah, they're not
Who to
here.
introduce. So
But
should I
they'll
pick
invite him into their roster right away.
10 to introduce? So
Well,
right now, if I can just have you
So whenever we take that, God had an opportunity to had been swatted. How was it doing?
that was at home. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Good question, right?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please find your seats and turn off or silence all electronic devices as our ceremony will begin shortly. Due to COVID-19, please ensure you are practicing physical distancing and keep your mask on while moving around the venue. At this time, please remove your NATO ID badges as pictures will be taken. Room touch hut!
Sit down for a minute, at least before.
On behalf of the Commander, NATO Allied Joint Force Command Brunson Headquarters, and today's presiding officer, General Jor Volmer, welcome to today's ceremony, where Colonel Anne-Marie Fenton will transfer duties as Assistant Chief of Staff, J1 Manpower and Personnel, and transfer authority of United States Air Force Element, Allied Joint Force Command Brunson, to Colonel Brian Freeman. I am Lieutenant Kuman, and I will be your narrator for today's ceremony. At this time, we would like to welcome our distinguished guests who have joined us today. Please hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. Major General Thomas Kunkel, Commander, NATO Airborne Early Warning and Control Force. Brigadier General Dan Dinu, Assistant Chief of Staff, J2. Brigadier General Margaret Mahalov, Assistant Chief of Staff, J9. Brigadier General Ferdinand Murin, Assistant Chief of Staff, Joint Engineering. And a special welcome to Colonel Fenton's family, her husband Roland, and her daughters Colleen, Caitlin, and Megan. We also welcome all other commanders, assistant chiefs of staff, family, friends, and the airmen and guardians of the United States Air Force Element. Finally, a warm welcome to all our international colleagues and host nation friends and partners. Whether you are here with us today or watching online, Thank you for attending. Please stand for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the playing of the Kingdom of the Netherlands and the United States of America national anthems. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is my pleasure to introduce our presiding officer for today's ceremony, Commander, NATO Allied Joint Force Command, Brunson Headquarters, General Jor Volmer.
Generals, officers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and thank you for attending today's ceremony. A special welcome to General Kunkel, the new commander of the NATO Airborne Early Warning and Control Force. It's a great pleasure, great honor that you are with us today, and especially always an honor for Anne-Marie Fenton and the new incoming J1. I would also like, of course, specifically acknowledge Anne-Marie's family. Thank you for being here again. Her husband, Roland Fenton, who has already been mentioned. It's great to have you with us. And it's more exciting even that all your three girls are with you today. Two of them came back from the United States to attend the ceremony. Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure. It's a great honor for your mom. And we all know without the family, we could not fulfill our mission. That's therefore to listen what we have to say about your mom from my perspective and from the others' perspective, and you can be assured it will be a praise. So thank you very much for coming and attending this ceremony. I was truly honored when I was asked by Colonel Anne-Marie Fenton to preside and conduct the final ceremony at our headquarters. I was a little bit surprised how it developed. I was asked in Afghanistan several times to be the honor speaker for outgoing battalions in my area of responsibility, but then in the end to preside such a very important ceremony is something special. But I'm happy that I said yes, and it's a great honor and pleasure to be here today. And it's not only to celebrate the incredible accomplishments of Colonel and her Air Force team. I was not aware so much that in the background she was also leading a lot of Air Force officers and NCOs in our command. I always thought I'm the commander, but so finally I find it out, and it's great, and I would like to say a few words to you as well. And of course, it's a warm welcome to Colonel Brian Freeman. It's good to have you with us, and I will say a few words at the end. And I know it was a very tough week, just arriving, and then all the ceremonies, and in between to have the handover. And I'm absolutely convinced about it when I say it now. When Colonel Fenton has left this headquarters, she's gone, in a positive sense. And then the family takes care of her, and she takes care of her family. She might have given you her telephone number, but please don't ring her. If I say please, it's an order. Only if I have a problem which you can't solve, okay, then maybe an exemption of it. But normally then it's handed over, and then Anne-Marie has other things to do. And she has done really an incredible job, and I like very much working with her. She was leading her team over the past 6 years, from when she arrived in 2015. It was mentioned at another ceremony by the COS and by the DECO support. She served for 5 commanders in 6 years, so it's unbelievable. And I have to apologize that we change so often, but it gives you a good experience with Germans and Italians, and not only one, but each nation sent 2 of them after a while. So it was something challenging, I'm absolutely sure of it. And General Kohl and General Petelli already have mentioned it. As the J1, Colonel Fenton oversees all the human resource management for this headquarters and the US personnel, of course. And in that role, she has ensured that our headquarters has the right people, with the right capabilities, in the right positions. And I'm really grateful for that. And I know that this is always a fight, with 30 nations serving at this headquarters. Each nation, different policies, rotation policies different. COVID on top of it, it was really challenging, really to make sure that the nation sent the right people in the right time for the positions. And that is something which drives you the whole day, and sometimes even at night or at the weekend. And well done, very much appreciated how you did it. And that's not only for this headquarters, but also for the NATO Response Force and the Resolute Support Mission in Afghanistan. And it has been tough until the last minute, and still it is. And that is something, Brian, you have to take over, because we are still in this process, how to provide best support to those who remain in Afghanistan. The troops are gone. The redeployment went smooth. However, there are 3 remaining tasks given by the NATO Council and SecGen to the nations. Number 1 is to make the office of the Senior Civilian Representative capable to fulfill his mission. And that is something which really was driving how to do it, because we were responsible for the budget and hiring people. And that is something which Anne-Marie was really busy until the last minute, and that is something you have to take over. And that is the only exception, for example, then really to pick up the phone, and if you don't understand fully how this works. But the staff is capable of doing it, and they have done a great job. And the other 2 tasks which will still be on our plate is to get HKIA to continue its work. The Kabul airport, still pending some decisions by nations who takes responsibility. Tied to it is the Role 2 hospital. And the 3rd task, this is more than for the whole headquarters, and then later is the over-the-horizon education and training of Afghan forces, which has already started and which will increase in the upcoming weeks and months. But it's not only about J1, and Colonel Fenton was responsible for leading these great youth airmen and guardians who are assembled in front of us. And the whole Air Force element at JFC Brunsum is 47 strong, with representatives from the Air Force and the Space Force. And we are an operational headquarters, as you all know, and our area of responsibility still goes all the way from Greenland via Iceland, Norway, the two non-NATO nations, Finland and Sweden, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, and since SACEUR has given us the guidance for the area-wide peacetime management, it also includes Europe. European debt, as it is called, Germany, the Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, Denmark, and France. So it's a huge area. And that needs to be covered, deterred, and defended by us. And this requires truly a joint effort. Thus, the knowledge, the expertise, and commitment of all airmen in this headquarters is key for success. Definitely. Be proud of it. Because I would like to thank you and pay respect to you for your work, your dedication, and to all of you who are assembled today. And please tell my thanks to all the others who could not attend today. And if we address the Air Force of your great country, which is so much committed to the defense of NATO, including all our missions abroad, it also offers today a great opportunity to say thank you. Thank you for your service here in Europe, starting from the air bridge for Berlin in 1948. Don't forget it. We don't forget it. And until today. And it's also to say thank you for your commitment, the United States Air Force, for what you did in Afghanistan. Whenever we went in trouble, and we went very often in trouble, on the ground, it was always easy then via the JTAC to get the support. And very often it were your pilots who then provided support. So thank you again. Turning back to you, Colonel Fenton and Marie, we are really grateful. We, I say we, not me especially, but all of us, because as a commander I'm allowed to speak for the whole headquarters, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's a pity, for your service and for your outstanding personal commitment, in which you fulfilled your numerous and challenging tasks really until the last minute. We are all proud of you, and I can say by my heart, Colonel Fenton and Marie, mission accomplished. Colonel Freeman, Brian, you now have the challenging task of continuing this tradition of excellence. We welcome you to Joint Forces Command Brunsum, and we look forward to the great leadership and technical savvy you will bring to this team. As you take command, which is the main purpose today, of the Airmen and Guardians at this headquarters, I charge you to lead with boldness and courage, work diligently, and ensure that JFC Brunsum continues to lead NATO on a path of excellence. Your experiences at Ramstein and in the deployed environment will be a great strength and resource to our command as you fill your new role. I know that you are prepared and ready, and I look forward to working and leading with you. Warm welcome. To finish it, Anne-Marie, thank you very much. Thank you very much to your family. Between every strong woman is always a strong family, otherwise it's not doable. And that's something very special. I wish you all the best for the future in restoring your farmhouse. And please do me a favor, focus on your family. And don't look, for Americans it's easy, this famous 90 minutes drive from Carlisle to Washington. For European, it's a pain. Stay there and take the next year at least really to calm down. And I will give you a book then in the evening, so start reading or continue reading, and then really enjoy life. And for you, Brian, warm welcome. A good move then into your new house flat in Maastricht, and enjoy life here. And it really is nice. You have a great headquarters, you have nice people with you, usually. You also have a very nice community. And I can tell you, this is a great country, the Netherlands, and enjoy it and make the best out of it with all the restrictions. General Kunkel and I discussed it earlier. So just look, where can I travel, and then do it. So do your priority list, and if you can't travel to Italy at the moment, then go to Spain. And if you can't go to Spain, then go to Estonia, or go to Romania, or go to Bulgaria. there's so much to explore, and that is so important if we serve here in NATO, if we would serve in Europe, really to learn the countries, because every country is different and will be very much like it, by the way. It's different. And that we have different kitchens and everything else, so enjoy life. Nevertheless, it was a great experience with Italian pizza on Wednesday. No? Don't forget it. Real, not Pizza Hut. Okay, now I stop. I now have the honor to do something else, and I'm looking forward to do that. So please raise, and you can talk again.
Thank you, General Vollmer. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of the Legion of Merit. Attention to orders. Colonel Anne Marie Fenton distinguished herself by exceptionally meritorious conduct in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Assistant Chief of Staff, Manpower and Personnel Division, and Commander, United States Air Force Element, Allied Joint Force Command Brunsum, the Netherlands, from 31 July 2015 to 30 September 2021. In this important assignment, the leadership, exemplary foresight, and ceaseless initiative demonstrated by Colonel Fenton resulted in significant contributions to the success of the Joint Force Command. She developed civilian and military policy and set requirements for the North Atlantic Treaty Organization Response Force and Resolute Support Mission while managing a €21 million budget. Furthermore, Colonel Fenton advised 5 commanding generals, multiple general officers, and senior civilians on personnel management, utilization, and development. With a strategic understanding, she provided the direction on exercise structures and manning plans to deliver the resources to train and validate the headquarters and subordinate units for 3 North Atlantic Treaty Organization Response Force certification and standby exercises. Most notably, through her vast experience, Colonel Fenton set policy and synchronized activities for 9 North Atlantic Treaty Organization component commands and 36,000 deployed troops across 5 distinct joint operational areas during North Atlantic Treaty Organization's largest command post and live exercise in 13 years. Finally, Colonel Fenton was the on-scene commander during the March 2016 suicide attacks on the Brussels International Airport and Maalbeek metro station. She led the casualty support team at a nearby hospital and was the point of contact for the White House, the United States Embassy in Belgium, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the Joint Staff. In doing so, her superior actions ultimately supported 5 wounded American citizens. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Colonel Fenton culminate a long and distinguished career in the service of her country and reflect great credit upon herself and the United States Air Force. Thank you, General Vollmer. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Colonel Anne Marie Fenton will now address the United States Air Force Element for the last time as the commander.
Boy, that's a heavy burden. I'm not sure that I can live up to all of those expectations. I'm going to go back and do some stuff again. Is it morning yet? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. General Vollmer, sir, thank you so very much for taking time out of your busy day and schedule to officiate this ceremony. I'm very grateful. General Kunkel, thanks for joining us and welcome. General Dinu, General Murin, General Mikhailov, thank you for being here today. Fellow colonels, captains, chiefs, airmen, guardians, and my long-suffering family, I'm so glad you could be here. And a very warm welcome to Master Sergeant. Thank you for coming up here today. For everyone watching remotely in this thanks for being COVID safe and thanks for participating. I know that some of you are here to make sure that I'm leaving, and I am. I am going back to Pennsylvania, where my husband and I are taking over a 350-year-old farm. Demolition started last week. If my days have been spent chasing around Afghanistan, our evenings have been spent chasing around plumbing fixtures and sinks, and I haven't picked a stove yet, and so it has been, as you said, an extraordinarily hectic month or so. I especially want to welcome Colonel Brian Freeman, who has had an equally hectic arrival, Glenn and his family out in virtual land, and welcome you to this very, very fantastic organization that is such a joy to be a part of. As I turn over command of the Air Force element and leadership of Joint Force Command Brunson's J1 staff, I want to take a couple of minutes to reflect. And it will be short, because I know you can't get Netflix in here if I go through it all. The Air Force team, the Guardians, and the J1 team here at Joint Forces Command Brunson have been at the leading edge of major changes globally, in NATO, in our Air Force and now Space Force, and of course, in our personal lives. We've drawn down NATO's 20-year mission in Afghanistan, but we've concurrently ramped up our focus on defense and deterrence in our neighborhood. We face unprecedented threats from high-tech state and non-state actors. We grapple with terrorists, internal civil conflict, and migrant flows. When you're as old as I am, and I've had a really good plastic surgeon, you think of the Cold War as a much more straightforward thing than it actually was. But in the end, we all kind of miss her forger. And who, in November of 2019, imagined the cataclysmic upheaval that COVID brought us all? Who imagined it? Nonetheless, this headquarters remains at the forefront of planning NATO's collective defense to deter aggression and to readily respond to our nation's call in the event of a crisis. So to my J1 team, I applaud your diligent efforts to develop wartime and peacetime structures that support our commanders' operational requirements. The precision that was needed to support NATO's RS mission, whether it was in the sustainment or the drawdown, and not to mention the RS rack, that was headache-inducing. And from the outside, it's very difficult to appreciate the technical nature of what human resource management is, but I do know how challenging it is. And Brian, I want you to know that each and every individual on your J1 staff is a consummate professional. To my airmen and guardians, you represent the very best of the United States of America. You represent the very best of our Air Force and our Space Force. Daily, no matter where you're assigned, what your AFSC is, what your rank is, what your experiences are, you demonstrate leadership, service before self, commitment, operational flexibility, and excellence in everything you do. Each one of you has proven very, very capable of shifting along this very slippery spectrum of follower, mentor, guidance counselor, and wingman, and you've done it effortlessly. Do not write that word. I am in awe of you every single day. I could not be more proud of the airmen and the soldiers and the sailors and the Marines with whom I serve. I could not be more proud. to lead and command airmen to command is a privilege. It's a huge privilege. Not all officers command. Very few officers command as diverse a group of airmen and guardians as we have here. Very few. To lead and command airmen and guardians as we work shoulder to shoulder with our best allies is an honor. It's an absolute honor. It has been a true honor and privilege to serve with you. It is humbling to realize that the Air Force would never let me in today when I see how accomplished each of you is. I would never get in. I would be knocking at the door saying, please, 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 take me, and they would not take me. Thank you so very much. For the rest of you, this alliance scares the hell out of enemies and would-be adversaries. And I mean that. It scares the hell out of them. Consensus takes time. It's painful, I know. The machinery of NATO's bureaucracy moves so slowly most of the time. And embracing one nation's concern or strategic consideration when another nation has no such consideration requires that each of us walk a mile or kilometer in another person's shoes to understand their perspective. But when we get there, man, look out. This is the best it gets, right here. This is the best it gets. Finally, to my family and hope. It's been a hell of a journey here at Joint Forces Command Brunswick. This is the longest we've ever lived anywhere. And each of you has benefited and will all leave a little part of our heart here in the Netherlands. Thank you for being patient for many years with being late for or missing events. Sorry. But the airmen, it was about the airmen. Sorry for the early morning get out the door, or the middle of the night phone calls, or the complete change of plans mid-vacation. You are troopers. You're absolute troopers. And what you have learned as my children and as your dad's children means the United States of America is in a great place one day. My husband Roland has been my bedrock for 27 years, and it kind of scares me to say that, because 27 years is a very, very, very long time. And if any of you think that I'm difficult, Roland knows that I am difficult. And he hasn't killed me yet, but we haven't picked a stove yet either. So, it's all about the stove. So, thank you. Brian, welcome to your team. The airmen are phenomenal. The Guardians are few but mighty. Joint coalition partners freaking rock. Your Navy and Army and Coast 06 colleagues are the best network you're gonna have. They will let you know how it is, whether you want to hear it or not. And the J1 team, with all due respect to my Athletico fans or my Bayern fans, my PSG fans, the J1 team is a little bit like Barcelona when Messi's on fire. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Let me bring up your new Air Force Element Commander and Assistant Chief of Staff for Manpower and Personnel Program.
Good morning, everyone. I took down some notes, quick notes this morning. So, as I am the new guy, I don't have much to say because I've done nothing for the command. In fact, when you're in process, you're sort of a drain to the command. You're walking around and my exec and I'm, help me with this, can you show me where this is? So it'll more so be an appreciation of saying I'm happy to be here and just recognizing some folks. So I'll start off first with General Vollmer. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the kind words, I appreciate the confidence. Thank you for officiating. I think it's appropriate, you know, stepping into a NATO organization and having a German 4-star to kind of set the tone and the orders that you give me. Understanding clearly, I will not slow down the farmhouse renovation. So, got it, sir. Unless it's your priority, then I'll slow down the farm. Major General Kunkel, thank you for coming here. It's nice to see fellow Air Force and alumni from the 23rd Wing Flying Tigers. So I looked you up this morning, your bio, and I said, wow, he's got a lot of time with Moody. So fellow squadron commander there, I got there right after you left, commander of the 41st. So looking forward to working with you. Sometime in the future, I'll get on your calendar for office call. Yes or no. So Brigadier General Murin, Brigadier General Mikhailov, Brigadier General Danu, thank you for attending today. Look forward to working with you, supporting your teams, and integrating and J1 and getting to know you on a personal and professional level. Familiar faces in the room. I got to recognize Colonel Betsy Ross. I think she's hiding over there. MSG from Spangal. It was very nice to see you here, Betsy. We worked together at Ramstein, so appreciate you coming up here to Brunson and being here, Betsy. So Anne-Marie, Roland, the girls, Megan, Caitlin, Colleen. Haven't met Colleen. I think you just flew in. So I wish you all the best. I know, Anne-Marie, it's been a difficult transition, kind of, as we've been, talking on the phone before I got here, and there was a lot of thrash for out processing and processing overseas. But I thank you for that, starting early, feeding me information, giving me like what's happening and getting me set forward. As we converge this week, as you're trying to take care of many things, and I'm trying to become an effective, productive leader in the organization. So it's almost a high five and out of here. But I do appreciate and thank you for what you've been able to do and share the knowledge and get me spun up on as much as you can in this week and beforehand. And I wish you all the best in retirement, the whole family. And the girls, I think you're going on a European adventure. Hopefully you figured that out. So good luck with that. Hopefully you have some good weather and you figure out your agenda. So I'll go into virtual land, a couple of thank yous here and there. So my former boss, the A1 at UCAF, Colonel Susan Arola Scully, I believe she is watching virtually today. So ma'am, I'd like to thank you for attending virtually. Which camera right here? But because of her, I can thank her for my promotion. I can thank her for this job. So very much appreciated. I know she's retiring in September, and I promise I'll try to make it back down there in September for her retirement. So thank you, ma'am. I'm happy to be here. Do great things while I'm here. So shout out to my parents in Ocala, Florida. I was 4 o'clock in the morning there, 4:30. Talked to mom about an hour ago, tried to walk her through the technology piece. So I hope she's dialed in. The big question she asked me, she said, am I going to be seen? I said, I don't think so. She's like, I'm still in my robe. I said, it'll be okay, Mom. Just you can see, but you won't be seen. But I want to thank them. I've been overseas a while. I get back to the U.S. and Florida as much as I can to visit with family. But I know this is another tour overseas. To my son, my oldest son, both my sons, Captain Julian Freeman, who is currently at the KOC in IUD, Weapons and Tactics guy. So he said, Dad, I'm going to try to break away and watch it. I said, understand. So if you're out there, Julian, live, thank you for attending. If not, I think you can watch it later. The same with Nathaniel, my youngest son. He's enlisted into the Air Force, much like myself. I was prior enlisted. He's just waiting for his job to come up. So full Air Force family, as I can have confidence that they're part of the handing the torch over, because someday I'm going to retire and have sand between my toes somewhere. So for the last 3 years, I've given the thanks out to my girlfriend, who's been a huge supporter of me. She's virtually online right now. She lives in Paris, and she's also doing an online course right now for 2 weeks. So she's doing an online course plus dialed in virtually. So thank you for your patience, your support, and just being one of the sweetest individuals I've ever known. So I appreciate that and look forward to what becomes in our future. So to the team here, To my fellow airmen here and guardians, I want to thank you for being here, for attending. I really am looking forward to this job and this assignment. This was my number one choice. Got a little bit of spin around from the colonel's group. Then it was on, then it was off, it was on, but it all came out, and I'm happy to be here. So for the support staff, the folks that put things together, Captain Gorpsby, thank you, and your wife Mary for doing the photos today. I know it's not easy for a projo to put something like this together with so many moving parts. Thank you. Lieutenant Khan, thank you for stepping in last minute. I think we had a major that was going to do this, but he had some household goods, so we're in the thrash of summer, but you still stood up and did this, so thank you, LT. Tech Sergeant Waters, Tech Sergeant Gentry, catering staff in the back, thank you for doing this today. To all my NATO colleagues, co-workers, staff, again, fellow airmen, thank you for being here, I appreciate it. And I look forward at the reception to say hello again to everyone. So big thanks and appreciation to everyone. And that's all I've got for today. Take care. Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of General Vollmer, thank you for attending today's ceremony. You are cordially invited to congratulate and welcome Colonel Freeman and his family at the reception area in the back of the room. This concludes our ceremony. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Man, you did amazing.